So here are some things that will get you out of the friend zone. Number one, for guys and ladies, because ladies can be friend zone too. We talked about that yesterday. Okay. When you are if you are not looking for a friendship, let's start there. If you are looking for a relationship and you are not trying to be in a friendship, you have to be more assertive. You have to be straightforward. You got to be flirtatious. You have to be more direct. What I find is that a lot of people, because they are kind of afraid of rejection, they don't know exactly how to like shoot their shot. They might be a little bit uncomfortable, and I get that. But the only way to stay out of the friend zone is not to act like a friend. Okay? You can't act like a friend. Like, I've had people in my life that came in and they were friendly, and we had friendship, we had conversation, we connected, and at some point they hit me with the headline. They like, I'm looking at you like that. What's up? Or, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. You seem like you be right for me. Like, they hit me with the headline. Okay. Some people, they do it later than they should. Timing is everything. To me personally, if I've gotten used to you being my friend, it's going to be very hard for me to see you as more than that. Like, if you've been my friend for two years, and that's all I've known you as, it's going to be hard for me to see you as anything other than my friend. It just is what it is. If I've been, we've been friends and connected as a friend lightly for like 6 months, and then you like hit me with like, oh, by the way, I'm interested in you and I'm attracted to you, that's okay. But even in that situation, if I got used to you as a friend, I'm not going to see you in a romantic way. So I think a lot of guys have to be just you have to be more assertive. Women, same thing. If you're not looking for a friendship, do not be nobody friend. Okay? Like, don't play that role. I think some guys do that, and I get why you do it, but you are going to get friend zone if you act like a friend and somebody sees you as a friend. To me, I'll be honest with you, even when people, they share with me, they have romantic interest in me and they've been my friend, it kind of feels like you weren't really my friend to begin with. And that really does kind of hurt my feelings, if I'm being honest, because it makes me feel like you were my friend to shoot your shot at some point in our journey together. I've had a couple of male friends that started out and they've been my friend, and then they shoot their shot, and I'm like, wait, hold on. I thought you were my friend. Now you're not. Now there's some other people, they kind of came in and they weren't like my friend, but they weren't not my friend. And then they kind of came in and said, hey, you fine. Like, I see you as that, and we go from there. So you have to be more assertive about your intentions, because I think sometimes, because you're not trying to shoot your shot, because you're not being as open, somebody can just put you in the friend zone because they don't know exactly what you're in there. What are we connecting for? Okay. John says, I get friend zone often. They say you should be more assertive, but I'm not really sure what that even means. Oh, wow. Okay. So John, I kind of answered that. You have to just be straightforward about your intentions. That's what it means. If I, as a guy, if I'm talking to my brother and he likes a woman, I'm going to tell him, I need you to be more upfront. I need you to be able to say, hey, you beautiful. Throw a compliment, like spice it up a little bit. You can't just go in there and be like, hey, how are you? You good today? You don't know, because now you're getting into friend zone. So again, being more assertive, being more upfront with your goal. Women like honesty. And in just being real, you waste more time beating around the bush. You really do. You waste more time beating around the bush. You might as well just say, hey, I think you fine. Let's get into it. I'm interested in you. And if she says no, we move on. Guys, again, rejection is not rejection. We have to look at rejection as redirection. But if you play the roundabout game and you're just watching her and watching her and watching her and you don't shoot your shot, you're wasting more time and you're becoming more invested in someone you shouldn't have been invested in. Because if you would have known she wasn't going to be interested up front, you might have wasted, 5 minutes versus 3 weeks, right? Just get out the way. Let's see if this is something, let's go for it. If it's not, it's not. I've told y'all before, I've been rejected. I've been rejected before. And does it feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. However, I am thankful now that I was rejected when I was rejected. I'm thankful now. But back then, of course, it hurt me. But now that I'm older, and I can look back on my life, I'm like, okay, you know what? That actually wasn't too bad. That actually worked in my favor. Thank God that didn't work out. Okay? We have to understand that, y'all. We don't want to be in situations longer than we need to be. And sometimes we get so caught up on what we want, we don't realize that God is working in all things, even in the rejection. God is sovereign in the rejection. So understand, if it's a no, they only see you as a friend, move on. That's the second part. Do not play the role as a friend. Okay? I've seen multiple videos of guys that they get rejected by this girl and they continue to be her friend and they had no interest in really being her friend. And now he's old faithful. Don't be nobody's old faithful. This is for men and women. Don't be nobody old faithful. I am no one's old faithful. No. Okay? It's not gonna happen. What is that? What does old faithful mean? The person you can just call up when all is lost, and you don't know, somebody that you really wanted left your life, and you can call up old faithful who gonna answer the call, who's gonna show up, who gonna take you to dinner, who gonna come over and watch movies and cuddle with you. I am nobody's old faithful. I'm my man's old faithful. If we together, I'm your old faithful. But if we not together, I am no one's old faithful. No. If you my man, okay. What's that song? Only one call away. I'm only one call away from my man. But if you ain't my man, I am not faithful. Listen, I am no one's old faithful. Okay. That's just period in the story. There's too many people that play the old faithful role, and that is a mistake, beloved. Mistake. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. This is the young Sam. So this is 20 something Sam. Okay, this is early 20s, obviously. So I'm in college or whatever. I'm 18 years old. I'm 18 years old at the time. And while I was out of school, there was a young man that liked me. And he never expressed he liked me, but he always did things for me. He was always around me. If I needed anything, I didn't have a car at the time. If I needed anything, if I wanted to go anywhere, anything, he would do it. Heartbeat would do it. I knew, and everybody else around me, at some point I knew that he liked me, right? But I kind of manipulated the situation. Not kind of, I did. I manipulated the situation. And we just kind of hung out and of course, just played along, and he played along as my friend. He never expressed interest. I assumed he was interested because of the levels that he would go to be there for me, right? So one time, I think it was my first spring break, we went to Miami, and we're drinking. We shouldn't have been drinking, but we were. And he expresses his love for me. I don't know if this is my freshman year or my sophomore year, but he why don't you like me? Why don't you see me the way that I see you? And I was not attracted to him. It was just not there. But because he kind of played that friend role, it drove him crazy because he's investing all this time and energy into me. I knew that he liked me, but he was never saying anything. So I never stopped him. And so at that point, you now have spent 8-9 months, or maybe 1 year, 2 years of honestly me being a 19-year-old manipulating the situation. You don't spend all this time. If you would have said up front, you like me, or this is what you desired, we could have just stopped this from the very beginning. But now he feels like he's in love with me. Now he feels like he's in love with me. And I did not reciprocate those feelings. And I hated that because at that point I cared about him as a person. Stop, Sparkle. No, Mom. I cared about him as a person. So it didn't feel good that I hurt somebody I cared about. However, I don't want anybody on this live to be that particular person. Okay. I don't want you to play this game and just kind of play around and play around and play around. And then somebody can manipulate that. And I've seen that a number of times with a lot of different people, right? And I don't want that for any of y'all. So if somebody does not reciprocate those feelings, do not play a role you don't want to be. Do not play the role of boyfriend number 2. Don't play the role of I'm old faithful, because this guy did if I need to go to Waffle House in the middle of the night, if I needed to move stuff out of my dorm, if I needed this, if I needed to go to the store, if I needed whatever I needed, he was. If I was hungry, all I needed to do was text him. He was going to go get me something to eat. Do not play that role for anybody that isn't somebody you actually like. Y'all have, we're interested. And it's defined. Okay? A lot of guys, because they don't necessarily they're not really sure of themselves. They're dealing with a woman and they're like, I really, really like her. I find her really, really attractive. So I'm not going to like shoot my shot because I'm not sure. You don't want to be, and Rod, you said it perfectly, a doormat. You don't want to be too accessible. You don't want to allow somebody to manipulate the situation like I did. And I'm just being honest with you. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.